Coming up on today's show, we break down BYU's first game of the season, providing you with all inside information of how we saw it as former players. I have my cousin Joe Sampson, I have Ross Apo, and Scott LaFrondt joining me on what they saw against Arizona. And then we will talk about the Holy War. We'll talk about how we prepare for this rivalry during the week under Coach Mendenhall, who is my dad, my pops, my father, my everything. Love you, Coach. And then we'll also discuss what the Holy War actually means to us as players. Do we even care? Do we get excited? Do we get mad and sad like you fans out there? Because I know you guys are a little bit cray-cray, but that's fine. We still love you. I am your host, Brian Logan, and this is the Royal Blue Podcast by the players for the fans. Let's get it. Welcome to the Royal Blue Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Brian Logan. The Royal Blue Podcast is providing you with weekly players' perspective into the BYU football program. The podcast was created by former players so that we can have a place to come and just chill, relax, have fun, talk schmack, talk football, baseball, basketball, all that good stuff. No, not football, baseball, basketball, just football. But it's created for the fans. You guys get to drive all the conversations, all the topics. So please subscribe to the podcast. It's completely free. No schemes or shenanigans, anything along those lines, man. Just have conversations, have topics that you guys want us to talk about and help fuel the conversations and get your voice heard. So please download the podcast. Want to say a big thanks to all the fans who are tuning in right now. You're listening to episode number 3, titled God First. Obviously, with the Holy War, you guys can understand where we're getting that title. And obviously, because we are all like-minded in our religious, spiritual growth, and putting God first is a wonderful thing to do. Also, a huge thanks to my company, Foxtel Marketing, for sponsoring episode number 3. Foxtel is a full-service digital marketing agency that specializes in lead generation services for small and mid-sized businesses. So if you are a fan right now that's listening, you are a business owner, hit up Foxtel Marketing for more information on how they can generate the most sales-ready leads for your business. Call 800-273-2113 and mention the Royal Blue Podcast and get 10% off of any marketing services that they have. So now let's get into our starting lineup for today's show. We'll introduce our guest host for today, starting with my cousin, Joe Sampson. Joe, step up to the mic. Introduce yourself. First name, which I already did. Last name, which I already did. When you played, position, all that good stuff.
All right, Joe Sampson, cornerback, safety, kick return. Whatever.
You want to play? You want to say running back too?
Running back, if it's necessary.
When did you play, Joe?
2011, 2012, draft class, 2013.
Nice. So the next captain that we have stepping out to the coin toss is Ross Apo.
Ross Apo here, only wide receiver. Played from 2010 to 2014. Yep. Sounds about right.
There we go.
Yeah, something like that. All right, fellas, thanks for coming in again. I appreciate the time that you guys are taking out of your busy schedule to come help fuel this conversation and this platform. So it's been fun the last few shows. So I'm blessed that you guys can be a part of this. How did you guys think about, or what did you guys think about the game against Arizona, man? Where were you at? What were you doing? Your thoughts?
I was working and watched it on my laptop.
You were working?
I thought it was...
You were working during the game?
Why not?
You don't got no job, Tommy.
All right, I'm lying. I wasn't working. I don't have a job. No, it was kind of what I expected, a close game. Offense wasn't going to be too exciting, but, both defenses were out on the field showing out. And
how does that make you feel, though, as an offensive player? I mean, obviously as fans, right, us going into fans mode, we want to see, big points and big plays and all that good stuff. But, I mean, that's an offense that's different from one that you ran.
Yeah, so with Ty coming in and the new offense, it looked like a West Coast offense, and Taysom was under center a couple times, and they were in the pistol, and I thought it was just something different. And the first game is kind of like your test, I guess, and you're not playing each other like a scrimmage. You're playing a different team, and.
But how did it make you feel like to see the offense not struggle? Because I used to watch you. I used to watch your offense struggle. I used to watch your offense struggle.
Anytime I see something good, it makes me happy. I'm not gonna have bitter feelings towards these guys. The only thing that I'm bitter about is they got these new coaches, and that's about it. But it's always good to see the offense doing well and the defense.
So Joe, you played on some teams, and maybe some Bronco teams where you guys may have lost the first game. What does that mean as a player to go out with a victory? Oh, did you win both games? Both season openers?
Ole Miss, yes.
Oh, okay.
Dude, Bronco almost always wins.
I was gonna say,
He always lost.
don't ever disrespect my team like that again.
Bro, I don't be remembering.
Put some respect on
I
it.
don't be remembering.
Hey, so
what does that
yeah,
mean
I think ours was
as a player though? So let's talk about it from a player's perspective. So it's good and everything that that they won, and yeah, we're happy as alumni and whatnot. But what does that do for this team and for these players, knowing that they got that first victory?
Just a lot of weight lifted off their shoulders. They don't feel as much pressure anymore, and the biggest thing is gonna make them play more confident next week. So, getting those butterflies out for that first game, definitely a big step. They're just gonna keep escalating from here. So that's what the plan is.
So when I disrespected you earlier 30 seconds ago about not winning your two openers when you played, what does that do for a player when you do lose? How do you bounce back? If you were on any teams, I'm sorry, I don't know 100%, but if you were on any teams where you went down with an L the first game, how do you bounce back?
I mean, you just got to have a short memory. Go in, watch film, correct your mistakes, make sure you never make the same mistake again. So that's each individual person. That's what I did personally. But it obviously paid off.
Okay.
For our team.
So something that I remember, I remember after every game we obviously watch film, right? Because we talk about getting better, and the only way you can do that is by correcting your mistakes. And so you can't correct your mistakes if you don't see your mistakes, right?
True.
And so I used to hate like getting an L, getting my butt whooped, and then more specifically like giving up a touchdown and being in the film room and be like, oh, it's coming, this part's coming. Oh no, I'm about to go to the bathroom real fast because I want to see, this film of me getting caught on. So, I mean, how are those moments on the receiving side? 'Cause I know how it is on the defense side. I don't know what you bums do over there on your side, Ross.
Bumps?
Yeah. Yeah, bumps. Yeah, bumps.
No, like Joe said, you can't make the same mistakes you made, when you lost your first game. There has to be a change. There has to be improvement. And I think it starts in the film room. And then from there, you just implement what you learned in the film room into practice. And then from practice, you get better. So you go into the game and, you can win the next game. And I don't know if I've lost the first game.
Usually, I think so.
Usually you win the first game.
It's
kind of weird.
Did you play against Virginia?
That
Did you guys lose,
was
Virginia?
his team. That was after me for sure.
Oh, actually,
That was the first game,
That
right?
was the first game. I forgot about that.
Yep, that was
Yep.
Was that? Yeah. I remember Taysom.
That's why I said, man, short memory. You don't remember that?
Yeah,
Short memory.
There
You
you
gotta let it go.
There,
I forgot about that one.
There you go. I mean, it's a little bit different when you got the balls wet and you have, your storm and it's lightning. and
Yeah,
stuff like
especially
that,
for
man.
offense, of course.
Playing in a hurricane, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. No gloves, nothing on. So
What's your craziest film story that you guys have? Like, I have like a couple stories.
Man,
that guys,
I'm
like,
not
fall
ready for that
asleep.
one. I don't have to think. It's just some crazy stuff.
No crazy stories, Ross?
if I can just remember one thing that happened at Coach Holiday, we were watching film and he got so mad he threw the cowboy the film controller at the screen and broke the screen. And then asked them for a new screen so we could finish watching film.
Oh, man. Now I got a good one here.
Go ahead.
All right, so all the DBs are watching Sean Taylor highlights in the film room. All right. So everybody who knows football knows Sean Taylor is like probably the best safety to ever play the game.
In the history
of football.
Mm-hmm.
And
Life.
so, yeah, we were all watching it, getting hyped. And then Coach Hal walks in and he's watching. He's like, who is this guy?
Oh.
And we all looked at each other. And we were like, are you serious? And he's like, and everybody's like, Sean Taylor. He was like, was he good? And everybody's like, no. It's my DB coach. No.
He doesn't
know who Sean is.
He doesn't know. Oh, man.
But, yeah, it was funny.
That dude, I have one where I remember Lee Aguirre was he was like a third string corner, JC transfer, and he was sleeping. It was middle of the season. He was sleeping during film, and Coach Hill. This is when back in the Coach Hill days where had the little man syndrome, get mad for every little thing, and so he was like, Lee, what are we running up there? He goes, cover 7. Lee, we don't have a cover 7. How many guys on the screen? Oh, I got 2 my way. 2, 3. Look at the screen, Lee. So, he kicked him out. He was like, get out of the room. Da, da, da. So the next day, right, we come back, we watch film. So he's already had a short fuse with Lee, and Lee's sleeping again. So this time he's like, Lee, what's the call? Lee doesn't answer. He's over there snoring. So he gets water, goes over to Lee, and then dumps it on Lee. Lee wakes up, like he's drowning. And we start dying laughing. He's like, get out of my room. You're done. So from this game, who do you think stood out to you the most, either offensively, defensively? Maybe it's the water boy Ross. Maybe it was the coach. Maybe it was the ref that made all the right plays.
For offense, to me, Jamal. He was running like a beast. He was hard to bring down, and you could tell he took this off season, or the last season off. He took it serious.
Yep.
His body, he looks like an NFL player, and it takes more than one or two people to bring him down. And he had some big runs. Unfortunately, they were called back. But for offense, I think Jamal was the player that stood out to me. And then defensively, it was either between Butch or Francis.
Butch.
Or France, is that his name?
Francis,
yeah.
Francis.
It was between those two, and they, for Francis, it's because he switched from offense, and now he's playing defense, and he's balling out. Mm-hmm. And then Butch, he just got off a mission, and he's already starting, and he's balling out. And so those two on defense they stood out to me.
How does that make you feel as a player, bro, when you just ball out on a play and you get up, you're all hyped, you talking so much smack to the defense, and then he's pointing bro, it's a flag on the field, take that back. How does that make you feel?
I get so mad. It's not even embarrassing, honestly. It's not embarrassing at all. You just get mad, you just turn around and I don't know.
You don't get humbled, right? You just get mad.
You get mad. Yeah, you just see red whenever that happens. Jamal busted that big play and he got hype, and then next thing you know, they called it back. I don't know what he did, but my blood would have been boiling. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jamal too.
Yeah, Jamal's a beast.
He was definitely.
I think I've seen the biggest.
He was serious out there.
Yeah, I've seen the biggest maturity, with just in his growth over the last, couple months with him in camp and just talking to him and things like that. So it's great to see Jamal ball out, man. So we're gonna start a segment here, coming up these next few shows. We're gonna give out, the awards. We're gonna give out the player of the game. Obviously, it's gonna be voted by the fans. So you guys subscribe, please engage. We're gonna send you guys some surveys. But one that I'm really excited about, bro, is called Two Claps and a Dab, in that order. And if you know what show I'm talking about, then you'll understand. It's from Love and Hip Hop. Do you watch Love and Hip Hop, Ross?
Mm-mm.
Joe, you don't watch Love and Hip Hop?
I don't watch
I haven't
TV.
watched the new one. I've
Okay,
seen.
so that
I've
must be
seen
like a
couple-
married. That must be just like a married thing then, because like we have shows. Like I watch the Kardashians. I watch,
Soaps.
I watch all that. Teen Mom. All that good stuff. So I have to show you.
Not that one.
I'll have to show
The
you
Teen
guys
Mom,
what
no.
I'm talking about. Maybe we'll play some music so you guys can understand. But yeah, I mean, stay tuned, fans, for those surveys. So you guys can help spark the conversation. Good stuff from Ross, from Joe Sampson, and Scott LaFrondt just walked in. I don't know how you're late, man. I don't know how you are on Color People time and you're not even colored, bro. It doesn't make sense to me. But we'll hear
It's got
from
color tendencies.
you got colored tendencies. You have colored friends. You're on Colored People time.
But I'm not colored.
You talk like you're colored. All of that. No, but we'll hear from you, from Scott, coming up next on the Royal Blue Podcast. We'll provide you guys with some insights on how we prepared for the Holy War when we played under Coach Mendenhall. My pops. Shout out to you, Coach, again. All that is coming up next on the Royal Blue Podcast.
Let's go.
Welcome back to the Royal Blue Podcast, Episode 3, God First. I'm your host, Brian Logan, alongside former players Ross Apo, Joe Sampson, and Scott LaFrondt. And let's go ahead and give Scott his little intro right now. So, Scott, step up to the mic and tell the fans, when you played, who you are, your jersey number. Do you like long walks on the park, on the beach, all that good stuff?
Yeah. So Scott LaFrondt was rostered between 2009 to 2013. I would say I wore number 33, I guess, my senior season, but my experience with BYU varies on different levels than maybe Brian or Ross or Joe. And I was able to see things from maybe a different angle, but all in all, had a great experience. I'm a huge supporter of the BYU program. I do like to take long walks on the beach.
Are you single right now, Scott? Are you looking for somebody? Are you looking for a lovely?
I'm always looking, and yeah.
Hey, so we're gonna be the new dating site right here. We could hook you guys up. Send applications. Oh wait, you got to subscribe to the podcast first. And then maybe like through the newsletters. Maybe through the newsletters, bro. What we'll do is we'll send Scott's face out, and we'll have like maybe some ladies take a test to see if how compatible you guys are or whatnot. So
this is how I'm gonna find my wife.
yeah, man, this is how we gotta do it. Hey, God works in mysterious ways, man. However you gotta do it, we'll go ahead and get it done for you guys. So I mean, let's talk about something that's real and something that is close to my heart, which is this holy war. And the reason why, man, is because I feel like this holy war is just straight up nasty, dude. I've been a part of all types of rivalries growing up and playing sports, but this one, dude, is weird to me. Like I feel like people really are trying to kill each other, especially the fans and the community. So I wanted to get a player's perspective on just this topic. I always wondered if we sat down with Utah players, how would they feel about this rivalry? I personally don't think they would care.
Yeah, no, I think from a player's perspective, it starts out initially, you're unaware of how important this game really is, because a lot of us are out-of-state guys, and we come in and we haven't really tasted the bad blood firsthand. However, I moved from Phoenix, Arizona to Alpine, Utah. Okay, Alpine, Utah has basically 50-50 Utah fans and BYU fans. And I started seeing firsthand,
nastiness?
these 45-year-old men arguing and actually being hurt, about the outcome of this game. And so from that standpoint, I started seeing, okay, there's a lot more to this than just the players and playing football. And so I think as players, get freshman, sophomore, junior year, they start to see, and the game becomes more impactful for them. I think for sure when we were playing, it was a big deal. As much as we wanted to say it's just another game,
Yeah.
I think from a coaching standpoint, you start to see with Coach Mendenhall how it was like, okay, how many games has it been since you beat Utah?
See, I didn't get that, man, because probably because I won in 2009.
Right,
I don't
right.
know.
That was the game.
That was the last time
Yep.
that we beat Utah. So everybody sitting in this room right now hasn't beat Utah except for me. That's crazy. Oh yeah, you were with me. Yeah, you were in 2009 too. So me and Scott, you were there. We're together, and then Joe.
That's when Andrew George had that.
Yeah, man, that was an exciting moment, man. But yeah, I didn't really experience that, and we barely lost in 2000 with the field goal was blocked in 2010. Ross almost had a taste of it, but talk about that with Coach Mendenhall and how he prepared, because I've always heard prior to me, and even when I was there in 2009, 2010, like, yeah, it is another game, but it is a little bit special, right? So he wasn't trying to really downplay it like it was truly just another game, but he wasn't really, trying to put a lot of hype on it either. And I think just for the fact of trying to keep everybody, even keel and calm and more focused on, the actual task.
The way I feel like he prepared us for the game was he kind of put Utah up there like, these guys are rowdy and rough, and you're going to need to, bring all you got. And I feel like it kind of put a fear in, some people's heart, and they were kind of nervous, going into the Utah game. And we'd get, we'd get in there, and they'd be jumping around doing their thing. And, we got guys that are looking over there, legs shaking, knees about to buckle, just watching. And,
watching them getting hyped.
Watching them getting hyped. And, I think every time we played them, that's just what happened. People were a little scared of them because they had some color on the team, and
they had some black folk.
Yeah, they did, and they had Polynesian folks on the team, and
they had some browns and some blacks.
I feel like.
And some whites.
And some white. Yeah, there's some.
There's
some whites. Yeah, there's some whites in there. Yeah.
I feel like
they had some kickers.
We could have had more
punters.
More confidence boosting, from Coach, rather than boosting their team up to try to make us mad.
Yeah.
He could have just,
But do you think?
Confidence.
Do you think that? Because I know Bronco on a personal level, right? He's just been an absolute great mentor to me in my life, and really. I can give him a lot of credit for where I'm at right now, and so understanding who he is and how he speaks, I would take that as you got to stay level headed, right? You got to be even keeled. Don't let the emotions take place. But you guys saw it as, maybe that put some fear in some of the players. They may have took it in a negative way, right?
I mean, as far as Coach, I wouldn't say Coach Mendenhall instilled like the fear. I'd say it was like me personally, was like the position coach. So they'd be like, they're gonna come out here and try to intimidate you and blah blah blah. And I'm from Oakland, California. We intimidated everybody.
Wait, Bay Area.
So it was kind of like,
Joe? Joe, where you from?
Oakland, California.
Put some bass in your voice. Where you from, Joe?
Oakland.
Okay. Continue.
California. So I mean, intimidation has never been anything for me on the field, and they're like, I felt like they were trying to scare us, like, instead of us getting a game plan together against their game plan, now we're switching it to they're going to try to do this to us and intimidate us. They're, it was and it was like that for both years I played. So I always felt like we had better players those 2 years at least than they did by far, and then we just could never win. I don't know. I just felt like that's what it was.
How often did you have this brought up? They're better athletes than us, but we can execute the game plan better.
Oh, yeah, I had that all the time. That made me so mad.
I hated that.
And I didn't really hear that from Coach Mendenhall a lot.
That's what I said. It was
Coach
never from
Hill,
it was
bro,
never from
would always
Mendenhall.
say that. Always be like, you guys aren't bigger. You guys aren't faster.
I didn't get it from Mendenhall.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like, Mendenhall didn't say stuff like that.
Right.
And
I agree with you, Brian. I don't think Mendenhall was going in there scared.
No.
I don't think Mendenhall was going in there scared. And if the players could have maybe caught his vision, which it's a more mature vision.
Yep.
Whereas Utah and any other college is just trying to get up for the game. They start nodding their head a little bit. They're playing some music in the locker room, And Coach Mendenhall's view was more, we're not going to back down from nobody. We're not going to buy into anything, any of the shenanigans or anything off the field that's not important. We're going to go execute the plan and walk out of there with a victory.
Yep.
And so it depends on the maturity of your players, I think, and how you approach it. I would say the only thing I would add to it is a little bit of some head bobbing, a little bit of some energy,
some
a little,
swag.
yeah.
Some music. Well,
Get
that's
up,
the thing.
get
That's
up, man.
that's
Just
the
so
thing,
you
bro.
your body language shouldn't look complacent or that you're not ready. You got to go all out, man.
So about that music part and the swag and all that good stuff. See, that was hard for me because we didn't have the music like you guys had. I was listening to and I'm like, man, I'm about to come out here with my headphones and my phone tucked in my drawers so I could listen to some Lil Weezy or some Drake or something. Right. But now that you guys have that, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there is no excuse except for kind of what you guys are saying. And I saw real fear, bro, when we played Florida State, when they came out here. Yeah. When we went out there in 2010, it was completely different. But in 2009, when they came out here and they had gold teeth and dreads, it's just like what Joe is saying. Like, he's from Oakland. There's times I'm like, bro, I'm gonna meet you at this BART station. Right. I'm gonna meet you on the outskirts of Oakland. I'm not going to your house to pick you up. I'm not trying to get shot. So I understood. I seen all that stuff when got and I feed off the hype, but I did see, like Ross was saying, the boots shaking a little bit, and my hitters, my guys that were leaders and vocal, I was like, where y'all at? Yeah, where are you guys at? And you got and so that's crazy because I don't see Utah kind of in that light. Or I guess when I played. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for listening and subscribing for all those who have. If you haven't subscribed, please do and help us fuel the conversation. Also, if you guys want to further the engagement and chat with us outside of the podcast, you can do so by following us on social media. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and yes, even Pinterest. Real men pin things. That's right, Scott LaFrondt laughing at me. Go ahead and get you a Pinterest account and follow us at the Royal Blue Podcast. And hit us up. Let us know if you have any questions, what you guys want us to talk about. It will be a little bit easier if you guys subscribe to the podcast because then you'll get our newsletters, you'll get our surveys and our questionnaires. So yeah, appreciate you guys for listening and supporting us so far. Let's get right back into this holy war action. Something that I want to talk about is with you, Joe, and Kalani, and his excitement, his engagement with the community of fans, and kind of just what your overall thoughts are about him.
Just from watching that game, we just mentioned, I loved his energy. Like after the win, you can tell that you can see the passion that he has for the game and for his team, just in general. And I looked at it and I was like, I'd love to play for a coach like that. So that was my first impression of him as a head coach.
What does that do for you though to have a coach like that compared to a coach like Bronco? I'm not saying that there's something wrong with Bronco's coaching style and how he's kind of closed off, to the community and the fans. But what does that do for you as a player when you see that emotion, that excitement?
I mean, I've had, I compare it to like my JC coach. He was similar to Kalani, so more like a player's coach. Only a player's coach I feel like can get the very best out of a player, just because you have an added motivation to play for your coach as well as your teammates.
Ooh,
so,
like that.
Some people are playing for themselves. Some people are playing for their family or whatever it may be. If you add that coach in there, you're just going to play that much better.
Yep.
When I went to the game down in Arizona, and you can see how the coaches interact with the players and interact with one another. And you're right, there's a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
And I think as a player, when I can see a coach is emotional, I feel like he's with me.
Right.
that we're on the same level, that we have the exact same priority. That if I go down, he go down with me. That if I go up, he go up with me, and we're in this together.
Right.
And so, from that standpoint, there's then a bond that's formed with a players coach, and I think you can get more out of your players that way. Personally, you can get more out of me that way. So it works for me, that's for sure.
So why do you guys feel like? Because I feel like I had that with Bronco, man. And everybody, and I was joking earlier in the show. I'm like, shout out to my pops, my dad, Bronco, all the above. I mean, he's been in meetings with me personally, one-on-one with me and my wife. Even with me and my mom when she came, and we talked about other things other than football. So why did I feel that way? Like I was like, Are you sure you want me to run into this brick wall? Okay,
Right.
you want me to jump off this bridge into this water with no bungee jump? Okay, I'll do it. The same way you're talking about.
Well, yeah, but I think you also got to remember. I remember clearly there was a team meeting after we played. I think it was Oklahoma, your opening game.
Yeah.
And Coach Mendenhall highlighted how you would celebrate, how you would have energy. Brian, you're a different type of player than the typical kids coming through BYU. And
Yeah, it was. I feel like it was just you.
it literally, Coach would be like, "Look how Brian is. Look how Brian is." And you were.
See, Alan, that's why I never had to shave, man. I can wear my earrings too.
He literally at team meeting rewinded like 5 plays that Brian made and how he would celebrate and says, "I want you guys to be like this." And then if anyone else were like that, then he'd get mad at us. But Brian was able to get away with that. So
I did that too, but we played together.
you
so it's okay.
and Coach did
No, I
have
had a good relationship with him, definitely.
For sure.
But
For
I
sure.
know I've played for like 12 coaching staffs. That's a lot of football coaches. Most people haven't played for that many teams. So I just I know the difference from every type of coach. I've seen every type of coach you could think of. And so it's like he's with us, you know what I mean? But it's he's not, I wouldn't consider him a player's coach. He's like a Belichick, great, game plans, things like that.
Oh,
he's a
strategic genius.
Football IQ. Yeah, he's a genius. Exactly.
I never really compared him like that. That makes sense to me. Yeah.
That's definitely what he is.
And so Ross, what's your experience with Bronco and seeing kind of the differences with this coaching staff versus the coaching staff that you were underneath?
I think Bronco, he just kind of gives the wrong impression of people. I never had any bad, run-ins with Bronco. It's only good things, and I've had one-on-one talks with him. I've called him, late at night and talked to him on the phone. I've texted him, and he was always good at responding back, and he was a good coach, and he's a good person. But the way that people see him, he's kind of all for the team, and if the fans want to boo us, they can boo us. If they want to cheer, they can cheer. If they show up, they show up. If they don't, I don't care. We're here to win.
Yeah, that's where the just us came from. He's
whenever you have whenever you have a person like that, it kind of people take it differently than what we see. Yeah, and so this is good for people to know, because Bronco is not a bad guy at all. He's just a little different. Yeah,
you want to say weird, huh?
No, not weird, because
weird
I'm kind of the same way as him. I'm reserved. I wouldn't approach a conversation unless somebody asked me to join. I wouldn't just come in and start talking. And so I think
he's an introvert.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's an introvert.
But that goes back to kind of what you were saying, Scott, as far as it's a mature kind of a leader, or I would say the raw talk or the speech or the guidance or the prep is immature. So
and I started realizing that when I would go meet with him and he would say something to me, and at face value I would be scratching my head. And then I would sleep on it. I would think about it, and then maybe 3 or 4 days later, it would click, and I'd be like, "Wow," you know what I mean? And so he's very smart, very disciplined. He's obviously pushed himself to the limit, in all different aspects to get the perspective and knowledge and understanding that he has, and that has to be respected.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's no question that we as players, respect, Bronco, but from a fan's perspective, and I would say even from a player's perspective, I mean, we have this great mind, this great genius, and we all relate to him in our different ways. But why in the world have we not beat Utah?
Right.
That's a question.
So for me, I feel like our chances are greater this year for a lot of reasons. But one, to start with, I believe this coaching staff is going to get our boys hyped. I think Reno, I think Harvey, I think all these guys from Ty to Kalani to you name it, I think all of them are excited, and it's a good excitement. We have guys that we can get excited about.
Do you think they're going to get them excited because they know what this rivalry is? They've been a part of this rivalry?
Yes.
Yeah.
And more importantly, I think they truly believe that they have a great opportunity to win the game. They have the guys, they've done the preparation, they have what it takes to win. And so let's go get hyped up about this.
So they know how to beat Utah. With you guys, Ross, 2010, when we started the losing streak, I mean, that's all you guys kind of really knew, right? You guys came in there, I think, mentally defeated.
Has Taysom, has Jamal?
Nope.
No one.
Nobody's. No. Dude, I saw something on
Nobody
Twitter
on
the
this
other
team.
day that said the kids that are starting kindergarten this year will start school without knowing the feeling of BYU beating Utah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
My 6-year-old son doesn't know what that feels.
See, yeah,
His uncle who's a Utah fan.
See, bro.
See.
So when we beat Utah,
It's
we're gonna
more.
go to Allen's house and we're gonna have a party.
Yep. Yep.
A BYU.
Everyone's
beating
invited.
Utah party. So, so as you guys are, and especially Ross, because you play, I think, more consistently than us, as far as the years, in the program. I mean, what was going on when you guys, when it was rivalry week? I mean, how did Bronco approach it, and how did you guys as players, approach it?
We practiced a lot harder, I feel like, and we did a lot more, and there wasn't anything wrong with that, but I felt like we did treat it differently, but we tried to say we're not gonna treat this game differently. Yeah, mentally it was differently, or it was different, but we just did a lot more when it came to Utah week, and like I said, it wasn't a bad thing, but we kept trying to say, okay, we're gonna treat this like any other game on the schedule, but it wasn't like that. And I felt like we always had good chances going in.
Yeah.
And I always felt confident, and then we would get into the game and everything bad that could happen happened.
See, that's the thing, bro. Like, it's crazy stuff that happens, dude. Like, the craziest of the crazy. I think it started in 2010. The last play was that block, right?
Yep.
And you could actually go back to Grandpa Brandon Bradley. I love you, B.
Oh,
I love you,
yeah.
B. When he tried to return that pick or that fumble, and his knee was down. But I mean, that kind of started, crazy. Actually, you can even rewind a little bit back to me when I gave up that touchdown, and it was like a top 8, play on SportsCenter. Where the ball, tipped up over me, and the receiver ended up catching it. It was a nice catch, but why does that happen, dude? Why do you have 5 turnovers and then 5 touchdowns in like 10 seconds? Is it like, why do you have these crazy weird things happening, in these rivalry games?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's the stage that's set, and when you have this kind of focus and spotlight, people are going to bring out, all the bag of tricks, and not only that, they're going to bring out their best efforts, and so there's going to be crazy things that happen. You can expect crazy plays. Personally, my favorite, and I think my life is forever changed, is watching John Beck to Johnny Harleen. I literally remember exactly where I was, and I remember when he caught that ball, it was like this monumental thing had taken place. It had been etched in stone in the history books, And literally right after he caught it, it was like boom. And everyone's just going nuts. And so I think with that type of, no matter what happens, the outcome of this game is etched in the books of history. And so people get up for these games and crazy things happen. I mean, the Vegas Bowl last year was stupid.
Crazy, yeah.
I mean, the whole game, I'm like, they are not going to move the ball on us all game. We might actually win. And we're down 30-0.
Yep, so true.
And I seriously said, they're not going to move the ball on our defense. And they didn't. They only scored because of a couple fluke turnovers at the very beginning.
Yep. And
it was the most lopsided game. And guess what? We came out with the L again. And that's all that matters. And so, I'm very interested to see what happens this week. I'm very interested to see Jamal, to see Taysom, to see how they react.
I can't wait.
I mean, it's going to be.
Are you guys going to the game?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I'm going to add something, though. One big thing I always noticed with at least my teams, especially my senior year, when our offense would play not to lose. And you can tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like Utah was the only game that they made us play not to lose.
Like the
you know what I mean?
Win?
Playing real conservative, like instead of us going after it and
Pedal to the
trying
floor,
to run up the
let's keep
score
going.
or just go. I felt like we were always playing conservative against Utah every time. The play calling is different. Everything is always different that week. I don't know what it was, but somebody was making those calls.
Somebody needed to go to
was
church.
making it different. Yeah, somebody was scared.
Somebody was scared.
Yeah,
and somebody needed to
playing
go to church.
very scared out there. That's what I was like. It wasn't even like the players.
I think it was
nobody was scared.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
you guys weren't scared.
Yeah, we're like, okay, let's play. But yeah, I always felt like we were playing not to lose every time.
That's crazy right there, because as a defensive, even offense, I mean, we don't really know too much what's going on. We understand like your scheme and what you guys are trying to do as far as each other on the team. And so when something defensively, when something's not clicking on the offense.
Right.
And same thing,
sure.
with the defense. So for you guys to feel that, that's crazy, man. That there's just 1 week.
Well, I think it started to compound as the coaches. We've lost once, we've lost twice, we've lost 3 times in a row. It started to compound, and so I can't imagine going back into this situation with Robert and I and Coach Mendenhall and Coach Howell. It would be tough just because there's so much history saying this ain't gonna happen.
Right.
Now we got a fresh slate, we got a fresh start, and there's so many other things that we can draw from to say, hey, we got a good chance here.
Right.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what these guys are gonna do. If you guys are going up there, you 3 be safe. I'll be chilling in the Brigham Studios, doing countdown to kickoff and the post game show. So my prayers go out to you guys that you guys don't get in trouble. Let's go ahead and the title of this episode is called God First. So if somebody says something to you guys, turn the cheek, like our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and don't respond in a negative way. Now if somebody toucheth you, that's a different that's a different story. Because the Bible does say protect yourself. But be nice, Joe. When it comes to physical damage. But
I'm always nice. I got more friends that went to Utah, basically.
Yeah. No, I know. But no, and that's interesting too, though, dude, because being out, like going out to like a party or to like a club in Salt Lake and seeing former players with me. And I'm grown, right? I got kids. I got 2 kids. I got a wife. I'm with my wife. I'm with my friends, with family. And I'm with some former players, and we are out seeing them. And it's still that weird vibe, like, hey, I'm cool. We're cool, right? Like the fans can fight, but we're good, right? And so usually with other rivalry games and other teams I've been a part of, it's always been like love, like, what's up, man?
It's always.
Remember when I got that pick 6? Man, remember when I jumped over your face and got that interception? Like, it's just always clowning. But I feel like I can't even do that when I see Utah players. What about you guys? Do you guys see that or feel that?
I was friends with some of the receivers that played for Utah, and I didn't feel like there was any awkwardness at all. I felt like it was easy to joke around. Mm-hmm. Maybe if there were defensive players, it would have been different for me. But since they were receivers, it wasn't bad.
These are the only defensive players that Ross gets along with. And Kyle. Man, no, I forgot.
And so I feel like if it was defense, probably it'd be like what you said. It'd be like, hey, what's going on? What's up?
Yeah, we were just smacking
each
other
like
3 years ago.
So I definitely.
We never had any problems with the
saying.
players. Never.
So it's more.
It was always love. It was like we were all cool. It was just like the fans were crazy about it,
Yeah.
The fans.
We were just playing the other game.
I would love to hear the Utah fans then their perspective, because we talk about this holy war and everything like that, and it's like I remember when I first got here, or even prior, I would hear about this rivalry, the holy war, and then I got here and I was like, wait, you guys believe in the same God? You guys have the same doctrine? Like, you guys, like, they go on missions? Like, what? How is this a holy war, man? It doesn't make any sense to me, really. And some of the players are trying to, explain it like, well, they think that we're all holy and, we have no wrongs and we think that they're like what you would call Jack Mormons and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, well, bro, nobody's perfect either way. So you guys both believe in the same thing. It's not like you have, Israel and Palestine, fighting over years and years and years about two separate beliefs. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, man. Mm-hmm. So help me understand this, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I think one school is backed by the church, and the other isn't. But I had cousins that played for both schools, and so growing up, I remember watching Lavelle's last game with Doman, and my cousin was the leading receiver for Utah that game. And so from my angle, I was always kind of like, I get it, I get both sides. And then again, it was when I moved to Alpine that I started to see that there was a strong divide between a BYU fan and a Utah fan. And so I'm not gonna point out the differences. I think they're almost like. You can't point them out. You can't say what's the difference between me and you in this situation.
You can keep it PG-13, bro.
Yeah.
We could always go back and cut and edit the recording.
Yeah.
And hey, man.
Well, and there, right now, at least, there is the thought that they're recruiting better athletes in the Pac-12, and because everyone has to align with the honor code, we don't get as good as athletes, and that and so there's going to be some things that they're saying that these guys are just goody goods that are just trying to execute plays, and there's these weird kind of thoughts, but it's hard to really pinpoint and say this is the difference between you and me. At the end of the day, the difference is blue and red.
There he goes. There we go.
That's true.
Well, that'll wrap up today's show on the Royal Blue Podcast. Big thanks to all of the co-hosts, my former players, my former brothers. Well, you guys are still my current brothers. I love you guys for all that you guys have done. Thank you guys for being on time, kind of, sort of, except for Scott LaFrondt. But thank you to the fans. Without your participation, we literally would have no show. So please continue to help drive the topics, the conversations, anything that you guys want us to hear or talk about, anything you guys want to hear, let us know. We'll send you guys surveys and polls and questions by submitting. So we won't do anything weird like sell your emails or anything like that, but we will just use it for the Royal Blue Podcast. You have my word. Please, please, please tune in to next week. We'll break down the Utah-BYU game for the post-game show. Have some more analysis from these knuckleheads that you have heard today. So appreciate you guys. And, go Cougars!
Corn.
That was too corny.
Corn balls.